All right, this is Algebra lesson 4.4, which is parallel and perpendicular lines. Here's the basic gist. Are you ready? Here's the basic gist of this. If you know the slope of a line, okay, if you have yourself a line, okay, and the line is, we'll do it in red, and the line looks like this. So, can you look at this and tell me roughly what is the slope of this? Can you give me roughly what that is? First of all, is it a positive slope? From left to right, yes. And is it steep? Steep means that it's more than 1, right? So give me a rough estimate. Look at this. What would you say this is? 3, 4, right? Something like that, right? So let's look. Let's find a spot where it looks like it crosses a point. Would you say that that's one right there? That'll be a point? And then maybe like right here? You see those 2 points are pretty close? Yes? That means the slope would be what? What would that slope be? 4. Okay, good. If I have that, every other, okay, a parallel line, what's parallel mean? They never touch, right? That means, tell me what is going to be true about a parallel line. It will have the exact same slope. If it had any different of a slope, if it was slightly less, and it did that, then all of a sudden what's going to happen down around here? They're going to touch. What if it was even more steep? What if it was steeper? You know, then all of a sudden, guess what? They're going to touch. The parallel lines have the exact same slope. What will be true about what else will be true about parallel lines? That they will cross the y-intercept. What? Together. If they cross it together, then they wouldn't be parallel. They will both cross the y-intercept, right? They just will cross them at a different spot. Does that make sense? They'll cross them at different spots, but their slopes will be identical. In other words, if I gave you this, y equals 3x plus 4, and y equals 3x minus 2, what can you tell me about those two lines? What is true about these two lines? They're parallel. How do you know they're parallel? They have the same slope, right? One of these lines is going to cross right here, right? And the other one is going to cross down here. And there are 3 slopes, so there'll be something like that. Does that make sense? Okay. What if, actually, I'll just I'm going to find like my coordinates there. Here's the other thing. Perpendicular lines. I'm going to show you perpendicular lines. If this guy's slope here was, we established, what was this guy's slope again? Do you remember? What was the slope again? 4. This guy's slope was 4 over 1. That's his slope, is 4. What does perpendicular mean? They do cross, but that is not what perpendicular means. What does perpendicular mean? No, that's what parallel means, is they never touch. What does perpendicular mean? So that guy, first of all, let's go back. What does perpendicular mean again? Parallel means this, the lines never touch. What does perpendicular mean? They form a cross, but let's talk more math terms here. They make a 90-degree angle, right? That would be this, like a plus sign, or a perfect X, right? But either way, what is formed are 4 90-degree angles. Does that make sense? I don't care how they are. They could be like this, but that's a 90 degrees, that's 90 degrees, that's 90 degrees, that's 90 degrees. Does it make sense? Perpendicular means they make a 90-degree angle. Now, here's the rule. The rule for perpendicular lines, their slopes are opposite reciprocals. Opposite reciprocals. What does opposite mean? What's the opposite of 4? Negative 4. What's the opposite of negative 6.2? 6.2, right? Opposite means you're going to switch the sign. What's reciprocal mean? What's reciprocal? Flip the sign, flip the fraction over, right? What is the reciprocal of 1/3? 3. What is the reciprocal of negative 4/5? Reciprocal be negative 5/4. What would the opposite reciprocal of negative 4/5 be? Positive 5/4, right? You're going to flip the sign and flip it over. What about this? What if I have, what is the reciprocal of 2? What's the reciprocal of 2? 1/2, right? This is 2 over 1. It flips over 1 over 2. What is the reciprocal of negative 3? Negative 1/3. What is the opposite reciprocal of negative 3? 1/3. That's the deal. So then, if this guy's slope is 4 over 1, or 4, what would a perpendicular line's slope be? Its opposite reciprocal. It would be negative 1/4. Opposite reciprocal. So this line here's, this thing, it looks like it crosses up here right around there. So I'm going to say that this thing's, this would be y equals 4x plus 7. Do you agree that that is this? Look at it. Make sure that I've got it. Is that true? Y equals 4x plus 7. Is the slope 4? Does it cross the y at 7? No, you guys need to work on this? So I'm sorry. Is this the same as this? Is this graph, is that a graph of this? Yeah. You're confident of that? So confident you don't need to come in at lunchtime and work on this? Act like it. What would the perpendicular line be if it crosses right here, if it crosses at 7? What would the perpendicular line be if it crosses at 7? The perpendicular line. It would be y equals, what slope would it be? What would it be? No. What would the perpendicular line to this line be? Negative 1/4 x plus 7. Why plus 7? Because we're saying it crosses here. Does that make sense? Forming a 90-degree angle. Does this look like it's roughly 1/4? Up 1 over 4? Or down 1 over 4? Yeah? Makes sense? This is the perpendicular line to this. Does that make sense? Remember, if one line is positive, then its perpendicular line is guaranteed to be negative, right? It's going to go like this. It's going to make an X, and it's going to be negative. Question, Mr. J. For the slope, yes, it's opposite reciprocal. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal. Whatever the slope was, it's now opposite and a reciprocal. It will be a negative 1/4. Make sense? Opposite reciprocal. That's perpendicular lines. Now, let's actually get to the work today. Okay. The question will say this. Again, I'm not going to explain the question on the test. I'm going to explain it to you now so that when you look at it now, you can go, oh, I remember what to do here. Here's the instructions on the test. It will say, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through negative 3, 5 and is parallel to the graph of y equals 2x minus 4. Look at that. I want everybody's eyes on page 237. You got to look at example number 1 with me because this is the instructions. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. You all understand that part? Write an equation in slope-intercept form. What is that? Y equals mx plus b. For a line that passes through negative 3, 5, right? So we know the line goes through negative 3, 5 and is parallel to the graph of y equals 2x minus 4. So, step 1, you're with me here. It says the slope of the line with equation y equals 2x minus 4. Here's the line we have, y equals 2x minus 4. What do we know about this? We know they're saying that the line we're talking about is parallel to this. What does that tell us about our line? It's parallel to this line. Our line is parallel to this. So what do we know about our line? Our slope is also 2, right? Our slope is 2. Okay? If we know that our slope was 2, do we also have another point that they've given us? Look at the instructions. Did they give us a point that our line goes through? Yes, they did. So if we have a point, which was, what's the point that they gave us? Negative 3, 5. There's our point. Do we know our slope? What's our slope? 2. Can we now write our equation in slope-intercept form? Just like we did yesterday and the day before. Does that make sense? How do we do it? Write it in slope-intercept form, which would be, or I would do it point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus 5 equals 2 times x minus a negative 3. That makes it a plus here. Y minus 5 equals 2x plus 6 plus 5 plus 5. Y equals 2x plus 11. There's our line that is parallel to that, to 2x minus 4, and goes through point. What point did it go through? Negative 3, 5. Does that make sense? Okay. You guys try one. Try one. Try the bottom one then. It says to write an equation in, it says point-slope form. I don't want that. I want you to write it in slope-intercept form. Use point-slope form though. Number 1, at the bottom of page 237, you're answering that question right now, but I want it in slope-intercept form. You done? No. Calculator? You don't need a calculator, do you? All right, here we go. Okay, all you have to do is understand the question. This is no different than what it was yesterday and the day before. It's just asking you something different. It's just giving you it from a different angle. They're asking you to write down the equation in slope-intercept form for our line. Our line is what? What do we know about our line? It's parallel to this line over here. Our line's parallel to that. What else do we know about it? No. What else do we know about it? Part of our line goes through there, right? Part of our line goes through here, and we also know that it's parallel to this. As long as you understand what parallel is, then what is our slope? Our slope is 1/4, okay? So our slope is 1/4. This is no different than what homework we did 2 days ago. Agreed? Agreed? Okay. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus 1 equals 1/4 times x minus 4. Where?
The point is 4, -1.
Oh, sorry. -1. So x would be, that would be a +1 here, right? Okay. Y plus 1 equals, rainbow, 1/4 x minus 1, right? Plus or minus 1. Y equals 1/4 x minus 2. There's our line. Everybody get that? Anybody get that? Okay. Does it make sense? Okay. The next question, there's only a couple of types of questions here, and that is that what is, here we go. It says this. Here's the question. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through -4, 6, and is perpendicular. That's the sign for perpendicular, people. Perpendicular to this line. Oh, and they go like this. Oh, that's good. 2x plus 3y equals 12. Oh, man. Our line is perpendicular to that line. What is this line written in? Standard form, which means in order for us to do this, we need to put it in slope-intercept form, right? So there are a few extra steps. Watching. Listen, do we all understand what they're saying? Our line goes through here, is perpendicular to this line, but we can't do anything with this line yet until we get that in slope-intercept form. Minus 2x, 3y equals -2x minus or plus 12. Divide by 3, y equals, what is this? Tell me what this is. -2/3 x plus 4. You'll see it. Right? That's the line that we are perpendicular to. Right? So if we're perpendicular to this line, what is the only thing I care about on this line? The slope. Their slope is -2/3. That means we're perpendicular, which is opposite reciprocal. So we're positive what? 3/2. Our slope, and now all we're doing is what we've been doing. Right? Once you have that, y minus 6 equals 3/2 times x minus a -4, which is plus 4. Rainbow. Y minus 6 equals 3/2 x, which and that becomes plus 6. Plus 6. Y equals 3/2 x plus 12, and we're done. Make sense? Okay, you do one. Do the one on the bottom of page 239. The bottom of page 239. Our point goes through 4, 7, and we are perpendicular to y equals 2/3 x minus 1. So here's the deal. Again, understand the question. They're saying that our line goes through here and is perpendicular to their line. What is the only thing I care about on their line? Is the slope, right? Their slope is 2/3. If we are perpendicular, how do you find perpendicular to a slope? Opposite reciprocal, upside down and flip the sign. So our slope is, our m is -3/2. Agreed? Now all we care about is this, which is normal. Y minus 7 equals -3/2 times x minus 4. Rainbow. Y minus 7 equals -3/2 x. And then what is that? That is, again, it's a positive 6. Plus 7. Y equals -3/2 x minus 1? Yep. No, plus 13, right? How many of you got that? Y equals -3/2 x plus 13. Are you following it? What did you do wrong? Right. So you could see though, all of a sudden now, do you see that our problems are getting very, very long? They're getting long, and you can't drop negatives. You have to know how to multiply negatives and add and subtract negatives. I mean, like, and you got to, I mean, these are long. And they're going to get way longer. But like you have to be meticulous in your work. Raise your hand if you got this one right again. What did you do wrong? Negatives. Oh, gosh, you're killing me. You're all killing me. It's true. Anyway, that's really it. I mean, like, that's really it. I'm going to give you your homework because, I mean, you know how to do them. You just have to be meticulous. I can't teach meticulousness. It's true. I can't teach meticulousness. I have page 241. Only if it tells you to. Oh, and then nope, they don't tell you to. Page 241, 11 through 38. Every third one, which means you're going to do 11. What other number? 11, then 14, then 17, then 20, then, right? So it's just every third one. That's what we're doing. Some of them are going to be in the back of the book. That's fine. I don't care if you use that. The whole point here is that you know how to do this, right? One last thing before I let you go free. Look here. One last thing is this. If I gave you this question right here, and I said, are those two lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? What would you need to do? You realize that this is a line right here, and this is a line right here. What would you need to do to tell me whether or not these lines were parallel, perpendicular, or neither? So how would I find that? What do I need to do? What would I need to do? Tell me math. What do I need to do? What would be that process? I need to turn this into slope-intercept form. And then I need to turn this into slope-intercept form. And then I'm sitting there staring at the slopes. Then I can tell whether or not they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Make sense? Okay. Go back and put this up here last. There you go. Got it?